نتكلم هنا ولا ايه؟ ابراهيم ايه نتكلم هنا؟
Yeah. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام. الله أكبر الله أكبر. الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك وأنعم على سيدنا وحبيبنا وقدوتنا وقرة أعيننا قائد الغر المحجلين وشفيع المذنبين وسيد ولد آدم ولا فخر محمد بن عبد الله الهاشمي القرشي وعلى آله وأصحابه أزواجه وذرياته ومن اهتدى بهديه واستنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين. تركنا المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك. ثم أوصيكم ونفسي العاصية بتقوى الله كما أمر الله عز وجل في كتابه العزيز حيث يقول: يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم إن زلزلة الساعة شيء عظيم يوم ترونها تذهل كل مرضعة عما أرضعت وتضع كل ذات حمل حملها وترى الناس سكارى وما هم بسكارى ولكن عذاب الله شديد. وبعد. All praise and gratitude is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Lord and sustainer and sovereign over the universe. We beseech and implore Him to forgive us our missteps and mistakes and transgressions, and to offer His most blessed and salient blessings and communications upon His last and final Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the son of Abdullah, from the tribe of Bani Hashim and the greater tribe of Quraysh, and upon his kin, his companions, and all those who follow his guidance to the last day. He has left for us a clear, pristine path. Its day is as its night in its clarity, and all those who waver from it will find nothing but misery. This is the first Friday in the solar year 2020. And it has become somewhat of a custom for people all over the world to think about this time of year as a sense of renewal, tajdeed, to do things differently than they did the year before, to do things differently than they did in the preceding months. And in this particular year, it's not only the start of a new year, it's the start of a new decade, a new 10 years. So this issue of time, how we review it, how we spend it, how we evaluate it, is something that should be of the utmost importance to the believer, to the Muslim, to the Muslim. And the reason for this is because our most precious commodity, the most precious thing, valuable thing that we have been given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is this thing that we call time. Kind of an abstract concept, kind of hard to quantify or qualify and say what's time exactly, except the passing of days, and the passing of weeks, and the passing of months, and the passing of years. But it is a sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we should measure these things in terms of those discrete moments in time. And there's a great blessing in this, because it allows us to review our time. And the Quran reminds us, what if it was day all the time? Sarmadan. What if it was always day? Or layli sarmadan. What if it was always night? Man yatikum bidiyah wa man yatikum bilayl. Who is the one who's going to bring you the light, and who is the one who's going to bring you the night, the darkness of the night. And He has made for us the day by which we should strive and struggle and seek our way, and the night for rest. And He has made certain days of the week as a day of remembrance, as a day of Eid, as a day of celebration, namely Friday. And He has made certain days of the month also as a time for fasting and a time for reflection. So Ayyam al-Eid, 13, 14, and 15 of the lunar month. And He has made certain days of the year as such as well, the 2 Eids, and so forth. And so all of these things are instruments by which we can evaluate our time. And on top of all of this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us an internal method. So there's external methods, watching the passing of the years and the days and months, and so forth, and internal methods, namely within ourselves. وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib is reported to have said, تَحْسَبُ نَفْسَكَ جُرْمٌ صَغِيرٌ وَفِيقًا تَوَى الْعَالَمُ الْكَبِيرُ. You think you're this little thing in the universe, but the whole universe is within you. So all of the signs that you see in the universe, you find within yourself. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us. Surah Al-Dhariyat. وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. And within yourselves, do you not reflect, do you not recall, do you not look to the signs within yourself? So our hair grows gray and white, and our joints become tighter and stiff, and our digestive system doesn't function as well as it used to before in our youth. And maybe we put on a few pounds, and maybe we don't move as fast as we used to. And maybe we even lose some of the hair that we love, that's covered. But all of these are signs by which may we reflect upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We go through these marahil, we go through these stages, what I mentioned to us. We start out as coming out from the wombs of our mothers, لَا تَعْلَمُونَ شَيْئًا. You don't know anything, blank slate. And then you learn, and then you grow, and then you become shab or shabba, young man, young woman. Then you become an adult, kahul. Then you become a sheikh, older person. Then perhaps you reach أَظْهَرِ الْعُمَرِ لِكَيْ لَا تَعْلَمَ بِالْعِلْمِ شَيْئًا. And perhaps you reach the last decrepit stages of life, so that you know that what you realize at the end is what you should have realized at the beginning. ثُمَّ تَمُوتُ. Then you die. This is the stages that everyone will go through. Some may not reach those later stages, but the end stage is all the same. Everyone dies. Everyone goes back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everyone goes back to the place that we should think of as home. This is not our home. This is temporary. This is like a subway stop, train station stop, rest stop on the highway, this place. But home is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. This statement is not saying something that is going to happen in the future. Inna lillah. It's stating something right now. We are for Allah. Wa inna ilayhi raji'un. That's also stating something right now, not something yet to come. فَإِن تَرَاجَعْ مِنَ الْآن. You're returning right now. And you actually started returning the moment you were born. You started returning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if this time is so precious and so important and so valuable, why do we waste it? Why do we give little importance to it? Why do we pass it with things that we know either will have no positive effect on the place we're going to go to at the end, home, or it would have a very negative effect on the place that we're going to go, home. I buried 2 of my fathers these past 2 months. And I went down in the grave with them. And all that they had in the dunya, none of them was holding on to it when they were down in the grave. And we had the janazah here. And we buried them. And we left. And people moved on. But for them, their akhirah, they're living it right now. All of the things we read about in akhirah, millions, if not billions of people, including them, are living it as we speak. This akhirah is not far away. It's close. It's as close as the last heartbeat that you're ever going to have. It's as close as the last breath you ever take. And also from Allah's blessing, we don't know when that's going to happen. Nobody knows. So akhirah can feel very far away, or it can feel very close. And this will be the difference between the one who spends his time wisely and for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the one who does not. And Allah reminds us of this, Surah Al-Hashr. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون ولا تكونوا كالذين أنساهم الله فأنساهم أنفسهم نسوا الله فأنساهم أنفسهم أولئك هم الفاسقون. Oh, you believe, have taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they define taqwa as imtithal al-amr wa ijtinab al-nawahi, avoiding all that is wrong and doing all that we are commanded to do. هذا تقوى. وَتَنْظُرْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ. تَنْظُرْ, نظر. Here is the tricky part. Allah asks us to have nazar. أن نكون من أولي النظر وأولي النهى وأولي الألباب, similar terms. يعني contemplate, think about what you are going to bring for tomorrow. What is this tomorrow, like 50 years from now? Sure. How about 50 days from now? No, not necessarily. Your tomorrow, this ghad, is as close as your next heartbeat. It's as close as your next breath. This is tomorrow. فَلْتَنْظُرْ مَا قَدَّمَتْ, what you have brought forth. ماذا قدمنا? What have we brought forth? Did we live a life of just following our desire and accumulating things and acquiring things and talking about al-qila wal-qal and talking about people? Or can we go to our grave and go to our Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala and say, we did what we could, and now we are at your mercy. Now we're at your complete mercy. And the thing is, even before we get to that moment, we're always at his complete mercy. Were it not for his mercy, were it not for his rahmah, we wouldn't have anything. وَأَتَاكُمْ مِنْ كُلِّ مَا سَأَلْتُمُوهُ وَإِنْ تُعُدُّوا نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ لَا تُحْصُوهَا. And he gave you everything you asked. Whether you believe it or not, he gave you everything you asked. He gives you the things you don't even ask for, but he knows you need them. He gives it to you. So you may see the disease, the sickness, the setback, the loss of job, the loss of life, the loss of a promotion, car accident, setbacks. He knows what we need. And what does it mean by need? Need to live an easy life? That need to live the best life, which is the next life, the life of an akhirah. So maybe what you saw as a setback, it's actually something very positive for you. Maybe it's a wake-up call. Maybe it's time for us to wake up a little bit. So it gives you a little setback so that you can wake up. Can you imagine if we had no setbacks in our life? Everything went as we planned exactly and in the way that we wanted. Who would need Allah then? Or who would think they would need Allah? We would be like the ones the Quran mentioned. إِنَّمَا أُوتِيتُهُ عَلَىٰ عِلْمٍ. I got it from my own way, my own knowledge. I was successful. I struggled, I strived, I put in the hours, I worked hard, and I got the results. Other people, they didn't work as hard as me. That's why they didn't get the results. Isn't that what we say? But how many of the people do we know who work very hard, they don't get the result? And how many of the people who don't work very hard, and they still get the result anyway? هذه أرزاق. This is something Allah distributes in the manner that He likes. يختص برحمته من يشاء والله يقبض ويبسط وإليه ترجع. يقبض, constricts, ويبسط, gives, expands, وإليه ترجع. But you're going back. You are going back to Him. That's the whole idea. سواء في القبض أو في البسط. Whether you're in constriction, whether you're in expansion. Whether you're in ni'mah or baliyah, whether you're in a state of bliss or a state of tragedy, the answer is one. The result is one. We are going back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if we're going back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're already on our way there. And it's just a matter of moments and minutes and days and months, weeks, years. Then we go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then what should we be doing in the moment? What should be the priority of the moment? What should be the priority of our most important moments? And in the next part of the khutbah, I will talk a little bit about this and talk about what we call al-adawat al-imaniyah. The tools of iman that will help us realize the moment and live the moment to its full potential, inshallah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر لكم سائر المسلمين فاستغفروه فإن التائب من الذنب كمن لا ذنب له. Seek forgiveness from your Lord, for the one who does so is like the one without sin. الحمد لله رب العالمين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق الخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى الصراط المستقيم وعلى آله وأصحابه بقدر مقداره العظيم. وبعد. So what are these adawat al-imaniyah? What do we need to do? How do we look upon it? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us two very important tools. A way to deal with our past and a way to deal with our moment. And also a way to deal with our future. Basically, there's three types of people. There's the one who is so mired in the past, so distraught over the past, they can't live the moment and they can't live the future. That's a type of person. And we might see that in ourselves sometimes. Second type of person is so worried about the future. And so worried what may happen or what may not happen. Will the kids graduate college? Will they be able to get a job? Will they find people to marry? Will I be able to pay the mortgage? Will I be able to do this? Worrying about the future. And then the third person, who is a successful one amongst them, is not troubled by the past, that it stops him from living his moment or her moment, and is not worried about the future, that it prevents them from living the moment that they're in. Who is this person? What do they do? They have a way to deal with their past. How do you deal with your past? I made mistakes. It's easy to do. توبوا إلى الله جميعا ومن لم يتب نفى الظلم عن التائب. Right? Whoever makes tawbah is not from al-zalimin. So, dhulm is putting things in the wrong place. So the one who is ta'ib is not a zalim. إن الله يحب التوابين ويحب المتطهرين. فالتواب كثير التوبة. Didn't say Allah يحب التائبين التوبة. So the tawab is always making tawbah. But you might say, oh Allah, Imam, I don't have that many sins to make tawbah from. We're talking about I don't harm anybody, I don't do anything to anybody, I pray the 5 prayers, I pay zakat. I don't really see a need for my tawbah. ألم تعلم قول رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إنما يغال على قلبي فأستغفر الله 100 مرة أو أكثر في اليوم أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. Don't you know what the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said? إنما يغال على قلبي. What is this غين? يعني إيه غين? يعني something is stirring in my heart, I have to make tawbah and make istighfar over 100 times in the day. وهو الذي غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه وما تأخر. He is the one who has no sin. لا ما تقدم ولا ما تأخر. Not before and not after. So what type of istighfar? What is the nature of the istighfar of Rasulullah. They said it's not like our istighfar because he doesn't have sins to begin with. But it's the istighfar of ash-shakir. It is the istighfar of the one who shows gratitude. It is the istighfar of the one who is humble, who has istihya wa haya amam Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because no one can claim for themselves they don't make mistakes. If you claim you don't make a mistake, this is the biggest mistake. So don't think of tawbah as some big process that we do once in a while when I make a big sin. لا. توبوا إلى الله جميعا. يعني إيه جميعا? Everybody. Some of them said حتى التائب يتوب. لأنه داخل في الخطاب. So the ta'ib, the one who is making tawbah, has to make tawbah. Ish. How is the one who is making tawbah has to make tawbah? Didn't he already make tawbah? Why is he going to do tawbah again? يتوب من توبته المعلولة. They said. His tawbah is not 100% straight. Isn't tawbah an act? It's a deed. It's amal. So who can say that our amal is 100%? The only time you can claim your amal is 100% if it's 100% sincere. If it's mukhlis lillahi wahdah. Who can make such a claim? Nobody. So you seek tawbah حتى من توبتك. لماذا؟ لأن الله هو الذي سيتوب عليك. Allah is the one who's going to give you the tawbah. You are initiating, you're asking, you're seeking. Allah will be the one to give it to you. So we redress our past with tawbah. But there are other things. هناك عناصر. There's components to this tawbah, to this istighfar. ظلمت حد, you wrong somebody, fix it, rectify it. Something with money, make sure they get that, what's their right. If they're not alive anymore, you go find their heirs, their children, because they still owe, you still owe it to them. If you said something wrong about somebody, أثبته أو نممته أو آذيته الكلام البذيء. If you said something about them, whether it's true, whether it's not true, but if you hurt them with your words, this also needs deeds, acts. They call it an istihlal. Go seek forgiveness from them. Say, I made a mistake with you. Please forgive me. I made a mistake. This is how we address the past. We're not supposed to carry the past with us. We're not supposed to feel guilty all the time. Allah wants us to live for now. So we address the past, we do as much as we can to rectify it, and we move on. That's why they said there's two levels, two marahim of tawbah. The one who keeps remembering what they did in the past and the one who forgets. The one who keeps remembering what they did in the past is because they're still kind of living in that past. They didn't fix it. The one who fixes it and addresses the wrongs, they move on and you forget about the past. It's not you anymore. What you did in the past doesn't define you. The mistake you made yesterday or the day before or last week doesn't define you. You could be somebody completely different. The door of tawbah, of redemption, it's always open. It's never closed. Till when? Till the end of time. Till your last end of time. Till your last breath. But until then, it's always open for you. It's never closed. It never has been closed. You don't even have to knock on the door because the door is open. You just have to walk through. This is the past. What about the future? What is هذا الأداة الإيماني? What tool do we use to address the future? How do we look upon it? Most people have more of a problem with the future than the past. The worry, the anxiety, what's called الهم. الحزن على ما فات. Sadness and grief about what passed. أما الهم, something yet to happen in the future. اللهم أذف عنا الهم والحزن. How do we deal with this hem? How do we deal with this anxiety so we can live in our moment now? Well, there's another, as I said, أداة من أدوات الإيمان. التسليم والتفويض والتوكيل. Those three things. All begin with تاء. تفويض, تسليم, توكل. توكل على الله. إيش التسليم؟ سلم أمرك لله. Who owns the future? What is the future in terms of how we look at it? I mean, عالم الشهادة or عالم الغيب? عالم الغيب. Nobody knows the future. future. We don't know what's going to happen an hour from now. That makes it from alam al-ghayb. That means we can't know it. And if it's from alam al-ghayb, that means it belongs solely to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have no hand in it whatsoever. We cannot influence it. Only Allah knows what's going to happen. That's like what's happening in the akhirah. It's the same level. You don't know. You can't change what angels go to Mecca today and what angels go to Mecca tomorrow. Even though it's alam al-ghayb, same thing. You don't know what's going to happen an hour from now. So, what do we do with alam al-ghayb? Salam al-amr lillah. Leave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the one who yatadabbar al-umur. He is the one who's going to arrange it. He's going to handle it. طيب. What about this tafweed? وَأُفَوِّضُ أَمْرِي إِلَى اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَصِيرٌ بِالْعِبَادِ. Okay, that's nice about the taslim, but what about me? I'm still living, and probably I'm going to be living an hour from now and 2 hours from now, as far as I know. What do I do about the worry about what's happening tomorrow and the day after? وَأُفَوِّضُ أَمْرِي إِلَى اللَّهِ. فَوِّضْ أَمْرَكَ. What does tafweed mean? When we go to the Shahr al-Aqari and the Tawkeel and the legal representation, then we make tafweed. We say, this person is in charge of my affair. They know I entrust them completely. Right? No one's going to make tafweed for anybody they don't trust. Or tawkeel for someone they don't trust. طيب, what about Rabbil Alameen? What about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The one that we should trust implicitly and explicitly and in every situation, in every circumstance. Should we not make tafweed lillah? Should we not make tafweed umurna kullaha lillah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That's the meaning of the iman min al-adawat al-imaniyya. We want to live it in our heart. نفوض هذا الأمر إلى الله. ثم تتوكل على الله. عليه توكل وهو رب العرش العظيم. عليه توكل وهو رب العرش العظيم. If he's رب العرش العظيم, if he is the Lord of the great throne, he can't handle my affair. I can't rely on him to take care of me. I can't rely on those things that I'm having coming in my way, what I call setbacks, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can't take care of those things for me. He can. فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَيْهِ. These are not just words, we want to live the words. This kalam that we say, the Quran that we read, and the ad'iyah, and the adhkar, and so forth, these are all messengers, they're all rusul. In essence, rusul to what? They are rusul from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to your heart. وَالْقَلْبُ مَحَلْ نَظَرِ اللَّهِ. Please move up, everybody, because there are people in the back. الْقَلْبُ مَحَلْ نَظَرِ اللَّهِ. The heart is the recipient of the divine gaze. So if I have tafweed in my heart, I have tawakkul ala Allah, I have taslim li amrillah, I have tawbah, then I've taken care of my past and I've taken care of my future. What's left? Al-waqt, the moment. And this is the only thing we should be concerned with. What am I doing right now? طيب. What is it about the moment I need to be concerned with? أنت كائن إنسان ذو مسؤوليات. Right? You are a cat, you are created, you are existent, you are a person, and you have responsibilities. And those responsibilities are what you're going to be asked about. So there's responsibilities towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then there's responsibility towards everybody else. So in my moment, I should think, what are my responsibilities towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What has He asked of me? What is He seeking for me to do? And what is He seeking for me to avoid? Live that in the moment. Then I have responsibilities to everybody else. To your spouse, your wife, or your husband, to your children, to your neighbor, to your co-worker, to your relatives, to the people you like, to the people you don't like, to the people that like you, to the people that don't like you. Each one of them, there's a mas'uliyah. There's huquq and wajibat. There are rights and responsibilities. Every single one of these categories of people. Have we fully contemplated and explored what each one of those things is so that we can deliver it and we can do our best with it? Or do we let our time pass? Shaykh Rida, hafidhahullah, we're going to make dua for him at the end of the khutbah because he's in the hospital. Inshallah, it'll be good, it'll be okay. But he had asked me today to talk about how we waste our time. So all of what I just said now is getting to that point. We waste our time. And it's interesting because we live in a time, and many of you lived 50 years ago, or 40 years ago, or 30 years ago, where it seemed like we didn't have all of these convenient things. Many of you grew up in a house that didn't have a refrigerator, didn't have a microwave oven, certainly didn't have Wi-Fi or smartphone. I'm young enough or old enough to remember that. But yet, these things were supposed to make life easy and convenient and give us more time to do the things that are more important in life. So the washing machine was a great invention. No one has to go and wash by hand anymore. Look how much time we're saving. And the microwave, we can just throw it in there and heat it up right away. And now the phone that goes everywhere with us, so we're easily reachable. But what in effect has happened is we have become slaves to these things rather than us using them in the way that we want. If you are using one of these devices or any other thing of technology, and then after you've used it in a session and you look at the time and you said, oh, I didn't really want to spend that much time on it. Who's controlling who? Who's in control and who's not in control? If at every spare moment that you have free to yourself, if you're at a stoplight and the first thing you do is pick up your phone to look at it to see what's your email or your Twitter or whatever, who's controlling who? You are a slave to that which you desire. So part of the adawat al-imaniyah that we want to build it in our heart is that we want to have nothing and no desire except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And نشغل نفسنا بالله سبحانه وتعالى ولا نشغل نفسنا بغيره. This is one of the meanings of Tawheed. That we be busy with God, busy with Allah, not busy with anything else. So anything that distracts me from this, I have to see it as something that is my enemy. If the Quran said about our wives and children, إِنَّ مِنْ أَوْلَادِكُمْ وَأَزْوَاجِكُمْ عَدُوٌّ لَكُمْ مِنْهُمْ. Yani if you let them distract you from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If it says that tijara, لا تلين تجارة عن ذكر ولا بيع عن ذكر الله. رجال. They're not distracted by tijara or selling commercial transactions from the remembrance of Allah. Who are they? Rijal. Al-Rajul. It's not just man and woman. It's a maqam. It's a thing to aspire. A woman can be a rajul. Right? She has sifat al-rujula or al-muru'ah. She has the biggest attributes of being a rajul, which means you take on the responsibility, that you understand that life is bigger than yourself, then it's bigger than fulfilling your desires, then it's bigger than fulfilling your comfort and seeking pleasure. That's the number one aspect of being a rajul, of being a man or being a true woman. Are we really doing that? Or are we letting things control us and run us around? The 24-hour news cycle, the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, the WhatsApp messages, the forwards everybody sends on New Year's, funny ones and not so funny ones, and silly ones and not so important ones, running around. Did we fulfill that part of rujula? If it says about tijara, it says about our own wives and our own children, they could be a distraction. What about these things that are before us that are a distraction? So it's time for us, ننظر ما قدمنا لغد. Let's look to what we have put for the future, and not the distant future, the near future, because it could be as soon as the next moment. Nobody knows when they're going to go. So this is an opportunity. Yes, it becomes a custom, it's our beginning of 2020, beginning of the decade. Renew your intention. Renew your resolve, your himmah, your aspiration to do something different. And you can't do it by yourself. That I guarantee you. You need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the first step, you have to take it. You have to take the leap, the first step. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring you. If you go to him with little footsteps, he will come to you running in a manner that's commensurate with his jalal and his majesty. So we want to have this sitt al-tawajjuh. We want to turn solely and sincerely towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then you will find him closer than you can imagine. And you will find taysirat closer than you can imagine. You can find the facilitation and the ease closer than you imagine. هذا مجرب. People have done this many, many times before, and people continue to do it. You just have to believe, inshallah. So we'll conclude, inshallah, with a dua. First, we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yashfi kulli marda al-muslimin, and specifically Maulana Shaykh Muhammad al-Shata, who entered the hospital yesterday. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give him shifa al-qarib, shifa al-'ajil, that he brings him back to us speedily and with a full recovery بإذن الله تعالى. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. مستمر بسطر الجميع. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا هب لنا منك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. يا الله يا الله يا الله بجاه أسمائنا وصفاتنا وأنبيائنا ورسلنا والصالحين من عباد الله. نقض حوائجنا ظاهرا وباطنا، وأرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه، وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه، وارزقنا حسن الخاتمة، نصر ومنحة قريب وبشر المؤمنين، ومن على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في الدين والدنيا والآخرة. ولك الحمد إذا رضيت، ولك الحمد حتى ترضى، ولك الحمد بعد الرضا، ولك الحمد كالذي نكون، ولك الحمد كالذي تكون، ولك الحمد خير مما نكون، ولك الحمد على كل حال. يا عالم السر منا لا تهتك الستر عنا، وعافنا واعف عنا وكنا حيث كنا، وأيقظ قلوبنا لك ونبهنا من الغفلة عنك، واجعل آخر كلامنا لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد، وبارك على سيدنا عيسى كما باركت على سيدنا ابراهيم وعلى ال سيدنا ابراهيم في العالمين انك حميد مجيد، عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته. اقم الصلاه.
الله أكبر الله أكبر، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، قد قامت الصلاة، قد قامت الصلاة. أكبر الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله.
اللهم بارك السماء استووا واعتدلوا وصووا صفوفكم وصلوا صفات الصلاة. صلوا صلاتكم مؤذنا يرحمني ويرحمكم الله. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم، صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله حمده. الله الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. الله أكبر. سمع الله حميد. الله الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. So one announcement before you leave. Tonight we have a program that's more of an extension of the khutbah, giving transformation for 2020, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. We do at 7 o'clock before the Isha, so please come together. Oh, not the Isha? Okay. After the Isha. Also tomorrow is the family night at the AlAmaan Middle School. I don't know what time it is.
They were using 9 to 22, but we're using 23, 22. We're using tennis.
Yeah, are you sure? Let's get it.
And then the day before that,
We're in there. But it's good to see you.
what happened.
قال انا هجيب لك هو بقى. قال له ماشي. قال لي لا انا هجيب لك.